Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Dr. Rick's Arcane Advice, the only talk show in the Seven Realms that aims to help you, the adventurers of the realms. I am Dr. Ricandus Sturgeon, PhD, that's Philosopher of the Beyond, the world's first and only trained therapist and thaumaturgist, a Theramaturgist. And I am here to help you escape the dungeon of your mind and slay the dragons of self-doubt. We want to thank our advertising partner, Heaven Sent, fine distributor of goods and services throughout the realms. Heaven Sent, don't think about it too much. As always, I am joined by an esteemed member of the Thought community to learn more about their expertise and help our wonderful listeners at home. Joining me tonight is Antonious Flamestrider, and he's written a new book, Unleashing the Inner Beast, Walking the Path of Power. Welcome, Antonious.
Thank you for having me. I'm so glad to be here. It's an honor.
Now, your new book, Unleashing the Inner Beast, Walking the Path of Power, is tackling so many topics that are key for adventurers today. What are some of the top-line pieces of advice that you're giving adventurers out there in the realms?
Listen, bottom line, if you want to be if you're an aspiring adventurer looking to harness your full potential, Unleash the Inner Beast, Walking the Path of Power is the book for you. If you're out there thinking to yourself, I'm just not adventuring my best. If I want to be a better adventurer and raise myself to the next level, as they say, this is the book for you.
Now, I understand that part of understanding unleashing the inner beast is actually to identify the leash that is on you.
Well, yes, of course. I mean, you must first know what is holding you down before you can remove it and unleash it, as they say. Is your leash made of metal? Is it a metaphoric leash? Are you leashed by some demon god? If you have those leashes, then you have to see them, identify them, remove them, and then unleash.
Antonious, in your practice, are you seeing more people these days coming in with, let's call them these leashes, keeping them down that are tied to the arcane? Are they tied to self-doubt? Are they tied to esteem? What are the things holding people down that are coming out and reaching you today?
That's such a great question, Doctor. I really
Thank
think
you.
that one of the biggest problems is, in fact, self-doubt. Right? Sometimes you're thinking to yourself, is this the path that I want to follow? And the answer should always be, if you are headed in that direction, then that is the path that you should be following. Do you want to walk the fire path? Yes, is the answer. Walk that fire path. Doubt leads to doubt, and more doubt leads to more doubt, which is chapter 3, if you want to read it a little more deeply. Doubt, doubt, doubt is the good chapter, and it's a lot of fun to get in there and really unleash your doubt.
And in that third chapter, Doubt, 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 you talk about how doubt can, in some ways, set you free and unleash more of your potential.
Oh, that's a good point. I see you did read chapter 3. Wonderful. Yes, there are 3 levels of doubt, right? There is doubt, 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 and then doubt, doubt, doubt. And once you've broken through doubt, 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 you are unleashed, as they say. And then chapters 4, 5, 6 through 27 are about how you can really explode out of unleashing and into your better self, and whatever that be for you.
And Antonious, of course, a famous Flamestrider like yourself. Of course, you've been walking the path of flame for some time.
Yes,
Tell me, what was it like for you growing up as a Flamestrider and interacting with, walking with flame?
well, I'll tell you this. Little known secret about me is that my parents were water striders. What? Can you imagine?
Wow.
Can you imagine?
Wow.
And that's where I first had my doubt. Because both of my parents, being water striders, 18 centuries back, our entire family full of water striders, you might imagine that was a tough question, tough time to sit there and tell my parents, I'm a Flamestrider through and through. So that is where I first started with the struggle, finding out my own leash, which happened to be water, a water-based leash. And once I identified that, I
Mhm.
knew exactly the path that I was headed, which was to stride across the flames.
And in your extended biography, I know that part of your journey, as it were, was to really become in touch with the flame and actually do adventuring yourself. And some of your exploits, of course, are so well known. How did they shape your knowledge of thought and make you want to end up here as a leader in the thought community?
Yes, well, some people don't know this, but I battled heavily in Frostwick, and
Mm,
while I was there, it's where I learned to use one of my most amazing spells, which is to create bonfire.
mm,
And
mhm,
what that
mhm,
what happened was is that as I created these amazing huge bonfires, more and more people came around, and they were like, "Oh, I don't know how to use my spells. I don't know how to engage with my emotions. I don't know how to unleash myself." And I realized that my progress and my steps and my methodology in my book was all just in my head. I had to unleash this, and I had to
mm,
unleash it for you, the
mm.
people, and find ways to get this information to the masses. And that's why I wrote this book.
It's such a brave story, and I know that you had
Thank you.
so many struggles. Thank you. You had so many struggles early on as you were beginning to um, formulate your message, to put it into other people's minds. I know that in some of those cases, it led to violence. Can you tell me more about those early experiences?
Yes. When I first developed the doubt method,
Hmm.
I had written it initially on a scroll, and I was traveling across the land, kind of just telling it to anyone who would listen to me. And I came across several witches who simply thought I was stupid and wanted to burn me. Little did
Hmm.
they know that I was a firewalker, so it wasn't going to happen. But I mean, that's just
Hmm.
one example of people being afraid of sharing. A high tide raises all ships, and they wanted to hold on to power. And there's so many people out there that want that, which often can lead to violence. But chapter 9 is violence, violence, violence,
Hmm.
which will show you that once you have started to unleash, that there can be violence, and depending on how you use that violence for good or for evil, uh, depends on you.
It's fascinating, truly, to see all the ways in which you take such complicated ideas like doubt or violence, and then simply by adding a few more iterations of the same word, are able to arrive at something so monumentally different to shake that understanding. And I understand that one of the things that you've discovered along the way is love.
Ah, yes, love, love, love. Now,
Love,
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 love.
love, love, love,
Mhm.
love, love. Is
Can I just say honestly, as another person in the thought community, that I did love, love, love the chapter entitled "Love, Love, Love."
Thank you, and I love you for saying that for sure, definitely. Now, this is a this chapter is probably the closest to my heart. It is where I met the love, love, love of my life,
Mm,
uh, Frazorius Raspican. What a beautiful bride.
mhm,
She now this is the funny part. I don't say this too often, but she really helped me develop the love, love, love chapter of the book because sometimes when two people battle to the death,
mhm.
there can be some love in there. They can find the love. They realize that they are, we have more in common than we don't. And that is why we wrote the next chapter, finding love through fire battles
And I
together.
understand, yeah, and I understand that you and Frisorius actually, very notably, had a near death battle set in a large arena in the. It was actually in the demiplane, and
Yes,
it was really one of the most notable um, skirmishes ever held there.
I don't know that it could ever be bigger than that, right? We
Mm,
were challenged to fight to the death. and we came very close to fighting to the death. I firewalked. She spelled at me constantly. I
Hmm.
mean, we were very close to the end, and that's when we looked into each other's eyes and we found true love.
It's an inspiring story, and I know that everything you're saying is inspiring our listeners out there in the Seven Realms. And so, if you have a question that myself
Antonious
or and
Flamestrider.
excuse me, Antonious Flamestrider could answer for you, now is the time. And we have our first caller on here. It's Fritz Whipsweek from Falcon Reach. You're on with Dr. Rick.
Hey, Dr. Rick and Mr. Dr. Flamestrider. I've just been listening to you, and I really appreciate your message that I'm hearing. I haven't read the book, but I'd love to pick it up if I could reach anything right now. Um, on this concept of leashing, that's something that I feel like I'm going through right now. And I would really like some maybe specific advice if you could give it on how I could get unleashed from my current situation.
Well, boy, it sounds like you are definitely leashed, huh?
Yeah,
Is this
yeah,
more of
literally,
a?
it's right around my neck right now. Yeah,
Oh, so it's a more of a. This is a
Mm.
physical leash situation.
yeah. I mean, it might be sort of metaphorical as well, but there's definitely actual leash. It's really quite tight. A little bit hard to breathe
Mm-hmm.
sometimes. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, you know what? Let's take a minute. Tell me about yourself. Who are you in the inside? What are you looking to achieve?
Oh yeah. Well, I think I'm originally from Falcon Reach, and it's not where
Oh,
I am now. I'm in sort of a sort of Bernie hellish place.
Mm.
But I'd love to get back there and just sort of like, I guess I really want the people who know me back when to be like, oh wow, he really made something of himself. This is kind of a lot about what I think about right now, but really just out of here, I think right now would be also great to
so I'm
anywhere.
hearing you say that your biggest want and desire is to just get out of there.
Yeah, yeah. No, I would
Yeah,
say
yeah.
that's true. Yeah, a lot of
You
Okay,
I'm
know,
so
feeling kind of limited in my current situation.
mm,
a lot of places in this modern world do feel like burnish, hellish places. So I
Hmm.
they
think it's
do.
very apropos that you feel that
Yes.
way.
Sometimes you're in a burning hellish place of your own making. Is this a burning hellish place of your own making?
Well, I think my patron kind of presented it that way, but I definitely feel
Mm.
like it was more. I mean, I don't know if she made this, but definitely put me here, and so yeah, I'm not sure if it's. I mean, she definitely said like, I was here because of my um, unwillingness to pay the price.
All
Um,
right. Well, this
yeah.
is a great example. We can go through the steps right now. First,
Okay.
let's identify that leash. Identify it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, it's here. It's around my neck. It's tied to the
Okay.
other end of this cage,
We got
and
to get deeper than that, Flick. What is it made of?
You,
What is it
know,
made of?
Fritz, I know that this is a time of turmoil, but remember,
uh
you have to look within. Focus
right.
Hmm.
not on what's physically around your neck, but
Okay.
really try and identify the thing that's holding you back. Because I think the only way to release the physical leash is to get rid of the one on your soul.
It's true. It's true. What I'm hearing you say is that you're blaming your patron for where you
Mm.
are in life right now. A lot of blame in the patron means you're in the first level of doubt, which is doubting that you caused this thing to happen to you.
Okay. And I haven't been able to read your book because I'm sort of tied up, but I'm trying to get to like the other
Mm.
levels of doubt in your doubt,
Right.
doubt, doubt.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay. So like if
Yeah.
we could
Yeah.
skip
Yeah.
ahead, maybe you could tell me a little bit more about like what kind of doubt I need
Fritz,
to like get to next.
I want you to repeat after me.
Okay.
I am worthy of removing the leash.
I am worthy of removing the leash.
I can remove the leash. Repeat that.
I I don't know that I
You have
can.
to say it.
Okay,
You have to
I mean
believe
I
in
can say
yourself
it.
that you can say it. You
Okay,
have to say it.
can remove the leash.
And say it loud.
I can remove the leash.
Now say it 7,000 more times and it will be gone.
Thank you, caller. Thank you, Fritz, for calling in.
Okay, but I think I'm not sure what it is.
And Antonious, thank you for helping on that call. I think we're really making a difference.
It really is. And part of the thing that people don't fully understand, that most of the things that make the book work is repetition. Over and over and over again.
Absolutely. Our next caller is Ilvani from Papelona. Ilvani, you're on the line.
Yes, good night. Thank you very much. Sir Flamestrider, thank you for taking my question. Recently, around town, we've had a little bit of flooding. By recently, I mean maybe a couple of years ago, and the water levels simply have not returned to what they used to be. This flooding affected my business, it affected my house, and so I found your chapter on doubt very much resonating with me. I haven't read it, but just what you were saying was sounding very interesting. The doubt that I have is, do I keep living in a house that is partly underwater, or is it time to invest in a houseboat, perhaps?
Well, this is hilarious. You're in luck because chapter 42 is Houseboat. A great chapter. And the answer is, heck yes, a houseboat is a house that floats. And as every good patron knows out there, it is always beneficial to have a floating house. So yes is the answer. Invest in that houseboat.
This is the sort of thing that's giving me a little bit of doubt, though. It seems very obvious that a worthy investment is the houseboat, but then what if, say, a nearby mountain turns out to be volcanic, and now we're covered in flames, and the houseboat maybe not so much a good idea?
You know, I think it's very common when we're going to make a big decision in our lives that we are afraid that we're going to have regrets. And that can often hold adventurers and hold people back from really becoming the full person that they're meant to be. And sometimes what we need to do is just identify what our true fears are. You know, you mentioned this mountain that you're worried about hitting your houseboat. But remember, that only happens in the face of a very powerful above level 9 sorcerer. And those are just very uncommon.
See, but what if...
right.
But if by chance you were to have made enemies with powerful sorcerers, then maybe the fear is not so unfounded, yes?
I mean, that could be true, but if you've made enemies with a level 9 sorcerer, then that must mean you have friends that are at least level 9, right?
Well, one would hope they would still be your friends after you accidentally poison their familiars, but you never know. You never know how personal they take those things.
Poisoning a familiar. Problematic. My suggestion is get the boat and make it fire retardant. I mean, that seems like the best approach here.
Yes, because even though you're surrounded by water in a boat, it could still burn down. And I think those are sage words for anybody. Thank you for your call.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. Let's see. Moving on here, we have Tortle from the Zolor Spiral calling all the way down there. Tortle, you're on the line.
Yeah. Thanks for taking my call, Dr. Rick. I'm a big fan of the show. It's helped me get through some tough times. You know, I used to be an adventurer, and then I took a mission, and I was kind of brainwashed for about 6 months. You know, I had to be rescued, and it was a whole thing, and you know, people kind of lost faith and trust in me, and it took me to a real dark place for a while. And you know, I'm a pretty tough guy. I'm a turtle, you know, so I got a hard exterior, but I'm soft on the inside. I'm just wondering if y'all have any advice of, you know, how to forgive yourself and kind of try to make good again.
Thank you so much for that question. I'll turn it over to Antonious.
Oh, that's a hard one. Trying to forgive yourself. Let me tell you just a quick little story about where forgiveness can be found. Once I was flame striding through a village, and without knowing it, I burned the whole village down.
Oh,
Fi-
yeah.
yeah. As you might imagine, it caused lots of mayhem and madness, and so I turned around and I looked at the burning remnants of this village, and I said out loud, I forgive, I forgive, I forgive.
Hmm. Is that what the people said that were in that burning village?
Oh, I couldn't hear anyone. It was burning.
Oh,
But
right.
the
It's probably
forgiveness
screaming happening a lot.
could have been. It was so loud, lots of crackling.
Oh,
But the
yeah.
important part was that I forgave myself 3
Oh.
times, and for a turtle such as yourself,
Turtle.
right, a turtle. I think that you should say that out loud. No, why don't you do it now?
I forgive myself.
Yep, good one.
Oh, I forgive.
That's 2.
I forgive.
Bang. Good.
Wow.
Oh, I guess that makes me feel a little bit better, like a weight's lifted from my shoulders, and I don't feel so bad about helping to mentally enslave a whole town of people into a kind of a industrial complex where we were sending out a lot of things kind of against our will. So that's pretty bad.
Well, I will tell you this. If the world was full of people who never captured an entire village in a mind thrall, or people who weren't burning down entire hillsides full of people, then
True.
the world would be not a very interesting place. It would be too mundane and in some ways too sad to regularly exist in. Remember, these things make our world special. And it's
Yeah.
important to know that we don't have to be sorry about that, about the way that the world is. But what we can be sorry about is not failing to grow earlier. You're on a growth journey. And so, my friend, you have to use these affirmations today. Go out there and find the people that you've wronged and go to them and say, what can we do? How can I make this better? Find a place of commonality, because I think you'll find, even though you may have very many things very different from your fellow citizen, at the core of it, you're all people trying to get by in this world that sometimes doesn't make sense, sometimes has inconsistencies in the way in which the logic of the world flows together. But regardless, you have to push on and make do with what you have, and it's the stories you make along the way.
Thank you, Dr. Rick.
Well
Thank
done,
you,
John.
and best to you. All right, moving on, we have another caller, Erdon from Shivermore.
Hey, how's it going, Dr. Rick? Sir Flamestrider. You might have heard me, Erdan the Eternal, underground wrestling circuit, longtime champion.
Oh, wow.
Yes. I'm familiar with the work.
Oh, thank you. So I've been wrestling. I've been a champion for the better part of a decade now, and I was wondering, a philosophical sort of query. Which should a fighter say? Enough's enough. It's time to retire. Is it time to go out while you're still the champion? Do you want to wait until you're starting to lose some fights? Hey, what do you think?
Now, Erdon, we know your career, but for those out there that maybe don't know your full storied career, tell us more. Tell us about your career so far. When did you start? How old you are? Those types of things to give our listeners a little context.
Sure. 100 years old, give or take, you know. Sometimes you just don't know. Depends where you are. I've been traveling around the realms for a better part of 2 decades, but only one of those decades I've been making money. You know what I'm saying? And I've been known to be the champion, you know, from all the way to the United Kings down to the Sinterlands, or up to the Sinterlands, depending how you're looking at the map. You know, I've been known to tussle with peoples, with creatures, and occasionally supernatural ladies of, you know, the royal kind.
Yeah, now, to me it sounds like we're really pushing towards maybe an arc where you actually embrace the dark side. If you've had an upstanding career so far, I think it's really time for you to take a hard turn into being the bad guy for a little while. Create some dynamic interference here on the wrestling circuit. How does that strike you?
Go from Erdan the Eternal to Erdan the Evil? I don't know if the crowds are going to be into that, you know.
Erdan, I think you're underselling yourself. As someone who has seen some of your work in the past, I mean, what about the battle at Farrellwood?
All right. That got pretty nasty. I did break both that orc's knees, yeah.
And?
All right, I broke his skull apart too, you know, but I didn't want to mention that part. Hey, it's getting a little nasty.
Well, it seems like you're on your way to the dark side currently.
And once you reach that dark side, do you know what everybody loves more than a character who's good all the time? Somebody who comes back from the brink. This could be a new opportunity for you to create a whole new arc for yourself as a character, to really think about how you can challenge the perceptions of what people already know about you, to make a new path for yourself. And then you don't have to worry about going out on top or going out on the bottom, but rather going out redeemed.
A redemption story, if you will.
People love a good redemption story. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess as long as I don't run into too much trouble, you know, being evil or evil, depending how I want to do it. But yeah, all right. Thank you.
I mean,
Doc.
if you need a little help with that, if you take a look at chapter 32, oops, I went evil. What now? I think you'll get some help there.
Many great insights
right.
there.
I'll ask my stable boy to read it for me. I can't read, you know. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you, Erdan. Very good. All right. Hey, everybody. As we're continuing to help you out here, we're going to take a quick little intermission and listen to some of the great advertisements here on Dr. Rick's Arcane Advice Show. We'll be right back. Are you looking for a fast meal delivery service that can come teleported directly to your fridge? Well, look no further than Arcane Eats, the #1 eatery delivered right to your door. Oh man, but I don't want to make dinner tonight. That's okay, just open up the portal right on the side of your own house and some food will come right out. And then you'll have the food right there and you'll be ready to eat it. Oh, wow, that sounds really expensive. It is. For just 5 gold pieces a week, you can get fresh vegetables and other mysterious meats delivered right to your house by teleport.
But I have dietary restrictions.
That's too bad. You gotta deal with whatever comes out of the portal. Throw it away if you don't like it, but maybe some good stuff will come in. It's Arcane Eats. Sign up today at arcaneeats.website.
Are you in need of a bag of holding, but don't have one and can't afford one? Well, you can rent Bag of Holding Lift. We'll bring a bag of holding to you. Just scream into the sky, Bag of Holding Lift. We'll come to you. Okay, bye.
As a dragonborn that likes to walk around all the time, I'm constantly in the sun and get dry skin. Sometimes I just feel like no one wants to touch me at all. That's why I use Dragonborn again. It's the skin moisturizer that helps me feel soft and baby smooth, just like a baby lizard I used to be, dragonborn again. Now you can get it at any Petra's Pockets.
Wonderful story. I'm back. This is Dr. Rick, and we're with Antonious Flamestrider as we continue taking your calls from around the Seven Realms to help you unleash the inner beast walking the path of power, the latest book from Antonious Flamestrider. Antonious, how have the calls been so far today?
I feel like we're really helping, So they feel very good because I like to help. I don't not like to help. And so when I'm helping, I feel good, which is where I feel right now.
I'm so happy to hear that, and thank you for doing that.
Of course.
We're gonna open up the line again. We have Kip Musclebrain from Chesquin on line 4. Kip, how can we help you?
Hey, how you doing? First time, long time. So I've been listening to you for a long, long time, and I think I'm finally ready to, take the first step, and I want to become an adventurer. But the thing is, I don't know if I feel like I'm a little bit lacking in like marketable skills. So I guess first step generally, I'm just trying to figure out what class I should become to meet my goals.
Okay, well, this is a very common question we get all the time. So, Kip, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background? Where did you grow up? Where, what are you doing for work? What do you do to keep yourself busy these days?
Yeah. So I'm from Chesquin, and my parents owned kind of a manor kind of thing with some lands, and so there's people that work that and sort of bring us food, and somebody trades for other stuff, I guess, sometimes. But so sometimes I walk around that, and there's like a pub in town. I go to that, kind of hang out a little bit. I used to hang out with my buddies, but they've sort of all gone on to do jobs and stuff. One of them got eaten by an owlbear. So anyway, I'm just feeling like I should probably, just get out a little bit.
Kip, it sounds to me like what I'm hearing a little bit here is what they call a failure to adventure.
Mm-hmm.
You
so far
are failing.
I would say I'm warming up maybe to adventure, if we could.
No, don't interrupt. You are failing. Yes, he's an expert, so yes, you are failing.
Oh, okay.
Kip, where are you right now? Where are you right now?
I'm in the manor. I got a real cool room down kind of in the lower floor now.
This is your sleeping quarters?
Yeah.
Look around. Do you have a bag?
Yeah. Yeah,
okay.
I do.
Is it empty or full?
I went to a sleepover a couple years ago. It's probably got some clothes in it, but I don't know. I'd have to look.
So let's go ahead and just dump that out, Kip. Dump it.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Here we go. Okay. Yeah, it's empty.
Now that's an adventure bag, Kip.
Oh, really? That's it?
You're an adventurer. Now put a rope in it and go
just
find
the bag?
an adventure.
A rope.
Put a rope in that bag.
A rope.
Put a rope in that bag.
I don't know if I have a rope. I can get a rope. I can get a rope.
I'm hearing a lot of cats.
No, I can't. No, I can get a rope. No, that's the thing I can do. I feel like I don't know right now where there's a rope, but probably in the barn, right? I can ask one of the ranch hands or somebody. I'm sure they use ropes. I've seen them
Kip,
with the oxen.
I don't think you're
stuff.
listening to me.
Yeah. Rope.
This is your first adventure, Kip.
Adventure bag. Yes.
Getting
the rope. All right.
Is your first adventure, and then the next adventure will just come next, Kip.
So if I get a rope, I'll level up probably, and then,
Of course.
Okay.
Take one, just put one adventure right in front of the next adventure, Kip. And then eventually you're going to look back and you're going to be a level 9 wizard. And you'll be like, how did this even start? It started with an empty bag.
So wizard, do you think wizard, that's what I should go with?
I'm hearing wizard, I'm feeling wizard, and I'm seeing an empty bag.
Okay, all right. I will fill that bag with wizardry. I can do that. Yeah. No, you guys really helped me out a lot. That's great.
Rope.
Thanks, Kip. Thanks for calling in, and we hope you help. I hope we've helped you on your adventure. I think it's important for all of our viewers to remember that an adventure can really be broken down into smaller, discrete parts. And that,
Absolutely.
just like you were saying, I think it was such a great insight that the first adventure is just the first action that you choose to make a part of that.
Isn't it true that some people look and they're like, I have to kill a dragon, and that seems overwhelming.
Yeah.
But if the first step is, I have to open a door, we're on our way.
A
Step
door
one
is
down.
a door is just a step on the ladder to fighting a dragon, if you think about it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Can I just take this opportunity to tell you what a fan of this show I am?
Oh, that means so much to come from you, Antonious, and I know that we've been we've been wanting to have you on the show for some time. I know that your first book was such a big hit. We couldn't have you on because you were just so popular.
It was crazy. I mean, who would have thought that a barbarian would have written a book so compelling? I mean, I never thought of this. I just wanted to write down my own thoughts, and it seems that people enjoyed my thoughts. Yes, Punchy was I was surprised at how well it went. But it was the book that really got me thinking about what that means.
The punchy part.
Right.
Now,
right.
was that where you started to really tackle the repeating theme in your work? I mean, your first book is Punchy, and we know that doubt, and love are big parts of your rhetoric in your latest book. Is that where the connection began?
I think it's where the seed was set, if you will. You know, it's interesting because so many people think that we barbarians are giant and stupid. But the repetition is important for so many things, and that's where that seed was set as I was punching my way through people and halflings and orcs. It was really where I started to think to myself, is this all I am? No. No is the answer.
You know, I think it's so common for people to get really good at one thing and think that that's the thing that they need and have to do for their entire adventuring life.
But that would keep you limited as an adventurer. Why not put many tools on your tool belt?
I agree. Let's go back to the phones. We have Camelra, the Blood Maven from the Abyss.
Yes, hello.
Hello, Camilla.
You are speaking to Camilla.
Camilla.
Thank you.
Yes, Camilla, what can we help you with?
Well, I don't know if you've had this problem, but I'm at my wit's end, you see. I am a patron of sorts of many downtrodden female warlocks out there in the realms that have nowhere else to turn when men or people that have betrayed them, and even some men follow me and worship me, and I'm just tired of all of the unnecessary patronage and all of the things that people are doing to pay homage to me and all the blood sacrifices, and it's gotten all messy and out of hand, and they're showing me things into our communication that I don't need to see. I don't need you to open up your bathrobe, darling. Please just look. I wear a chainmail loincloth, that is well known. And yes, I have spikes on my corset. It's for the show. But you don't need to match that, okay? I have a certain look. I work very hard for my body in the Abyss. But some of these people, I just want them to have self-love, and I don't want them to feel like they have to copy my style.
You know, that's a great question, and I think we can really provide some great clarity here. I think the first part, and I think you're even identifying it yourself, is that you have to think about what it is. People will treat you the way in which you teach them to treat you, Antonious, I wonder if you could jump in here and build on what you're observing and what you're finding for this caller.
Yes, I think you're right. For sure that the people will treat you the way that you treat yourself, for sure. But can I just dig a little deeper here, if that's okay?
Of course.
Please.
Camille Ra, am I saying that correctly?
Camille Ra,
Camille Ra, yes.
the Blood Maven.
Yes. Can I ask? I have a simple question.
Of
And I want you to
course.
think about this deeply for just a moment. You said that people blood sacrificed you, and it's getting old.
Well, I don't ask for a blood sacrifice just because I have Blood Maven in my name, which was a nickname, mind you, of 7 centuries ago. I didn't give myself the name Blood Maven. It was supposed to be Brood Maven, but there was a spelling error and the business cards got mixed up. So it became Blood Maven. It was too complicated to change it, and now everyone thinks they have to let out a couple of pints. And some of the people that worship me end up dying in the process. It's
And you
very
don't want
messy.
You don't want that. Am I?
Should I try rebranding?
You're thinking exactly where I was going. I mean, you're currently in the 3rd level of doubt, which
Well, I'm in the 2nd level of the abyss.
Oh, well,
So-
this is where I would tell you: break through that doubt, rebrand, send out new business cards, and say, "No more blood. I don't want murders. I don't want that." And you know what? Don't take no for an answer.
I think what's important to remember too is what the power dynamic is in the patron and patron relationship, and that is something that
Absolutely.
as a patron, you have to flex that power, and it's uncomfortable at sometimes. It's awkward. I'll just say it, to have to command legions of people to enthrall them and have them do your bidding. I get that. But
Change
you
is
have
hard.
change is hard. It truly is. But you have to take the reins here, and it's going to take bravery, and it's going to take you having a good long look in the mirror or in the pool of mercury that you have in the abyss that you look at to see your reflection.
Yes, it swells up every fortnight.
Yes, use that to really look at yourself, and then say, I'm going to take charge. This is the new way that the Blood Maven is gonna do business.
I'm
There's
sorry.
no more blood.
Let's not
Brood
Brood
Maven.
Maven.
I'm sorry. It's Brood Maven. It may say Blood Maven, but now we're brooding.
Yes. I've never thought to take a moment for myself. I'm always trying to open my heart and my steel-covered chest, large as it might be, to other people. And I'm sorry. It's just I've never really had that moment to give me some me time.
Camilla, no one is going to love you until you love yourself.
You're
Now
so
is the
right.
time.
Yes, it's like many of my warlocks that follow me. They only get a couple of spells per day, and bless them. Well, I mean, don't bless them. They're warlocks. They're not clerics, am I right? What do they think I'm going to give them? Unlimited spell slots. They only get...
Best joke of the night. Good joke so far.
All right. Well,
It's
thank
nice
you.
to-
Thank you so much, doctors. Thank you.
All right. Well, we're wishing you the best in your new venture, and we're going to continue to help people out. On next, we have Harp from United Kings. Harp, you're on with Dr. Rick and Antonious.
Hi, Dr. Rick. Hi, Flamestrider. Long-time listener, first-time caller. Oh man, I'm just so excited. I'm a bard. I've been a bard for a minute. I play the flute. Well, it's a recorder, but it's a flute. And I've been having a lot of trouble getting people to let me play in their taverns. I tend to try and stay and play for some amount of time, but then they tend to kick me out, and I have to move on to a new one. So I was wondering, maybe I need better songs, and could you tell me what your favorite song is and maybe sing it?
Yeah, of course. We're always happy to help here. I think we have to go to the masters whenever we want to find inspiration. So go back to those old classics. For me, it goes back to Frank Bernatra and his great bugbear songs that he would sing out there. Those are the types of tunes that just inspire me and get me excited. I don't know if that resonates with you.
Are you sure that's Bear Natra? That almost sounds like Louis Bugbear.
Oh,
I might be
Louis
confusing them, but a classic like that, an old standard.
Okay, I have one. This might be confusing and might possibly confusing's not the right word. Have you ever heard of Archie and Barchie? Also bards.
No, I've never heard of them.
I don't know where they're from, and I only heard them once. But they were two married halflings, and they were the most beautiful musical duo that I ever came across, and those are my two favorites. So go find them.
They did a duet, wasn't that right?
Oh yes, it was. And I'm not going to do it justice. I am a Flamestrider, not a musician. But it went something like, I'm Barchie, and we love, something to that effect.
Yeah.
You remember?
I think I love. Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Anyway, it runs in my head. Just that part. I'm Archie.
I'm
and
Archie,
and I love.
love.
See, and you see it. The repetition is inside of there, which is.
I think we're really hitting on the repetition part of it. Harp, is there maybe one lyric that you've been working on? Let's workshop it here. Why don't you give us a bit that you're working on, and then we'll try adding the repetition to it.
Correct.
Oh,
yes,
sure. I've been thinking something like, when you go to the forest and you see one there, bugbear.
Okay, all right.
Now that's good. I would say forest 2 to 3 more times and bugbear 5 to 6 more times, but in the same number of measures.
Forest, bugbear, like that. It's kind of off tune now.
I don't know.
I can work on that.
I mean, it sounds good to me. I'm quite enjoying it. And obviously you're going to add your own musical twist to that, and always remember, what is your leash? What is the thing holding you back?
I think angry patrons.
They can be that way, but if you scream bugbear at them over and over and over and over again, they just have to let you play.
Yeah.
Walk that path of power straight to the stage. All right, thank you, Harp. Thank you for calling in. All right, our next caller, we have Zaxor and Bequalith calling us in, a couple here. Zaxor and Bequalith, you're on the line.
Yes, thank you. Nice to be here.
Yes. Then what is it that we can help you with?
You wanted to call in, you tell them. Well, Bequalith is my life mate. We are mind flayers. And every time we have to clean up the bone pit, he doesn't want to do it. And, after sucking brains out of bones and skulls, it seems to be not that hard, but every time I have to do it at the end of the night.
Zaxel misrepresents the situation as usual to deceive your feeble minds. Zaxor's the one who leaves his brain juice all about the lair, whereas I eat over the sink.
Baqualith is lying, and if you could see his tentacles, he would show you that he is lying because his tail is every time he does, his gills start to flare up.
That's a medical condition. You should not use that against me.
I've never faulted you for only having 5 tentacles when most mind flayers have 6.
Do you see what I have to put up with all the time with this?
Trying to make you feel this way is also very difficult because we communicate telepathically.
Now, hold on now. And I think that no matter how many tentacles that we have, I think this is a common problem that any committed couple is going to have.
Do you have tentacles?
Well, I do not have tentacles, but I know that the problem is persistent between partners
You know nothing of our plight.
Well, I might not know exactly your plight, but I bet we can help you out. Now,
I agree 100%.
Now, Antonious, tell me what you think about a role reversal.
So, yes, role reversal, absolutely. We're going to do that. I don't know, when you adventure, we all know you do not adventure alone. Yes. You must go with a party. What's the first rule?
Never split the party.
Of course, right?
Now, unless you split them in 2 so you can suck out their brains.
Okay, we're very different, of course.
Yes.
But it seems as though this party is split. So, in my chapter, Never Split the Party, the first thing to do when we start to have problems within the party is Zaxar, I want you to say something nice about Baqualith.
I suppose the way that the phlegm glistens on the top of your chrome is pleasant.
Very brave.
Baqualith, do you accept that?
You've not talking about my chrome phlegm in so many years. It brings back memories of a different time.
Now, Baqualith, you must say something nice about Zaxar. Tell us something that you appreciate about him.
When you dominate the mind of a lesser being and convince it to destroy its own essence so that we might feast upon its brains together, I appreciate that.
This is remarkable progress that we're seeing just here in 2 minutes over the air.
Now, we will do a role reversal. Do you want to take it, Doctor?
Yes. Now, here's what I want you to do. I want us to imagine that same position. And Zaxor, I want you to become Baqualith. And Baqualith, I want you to be Zaxor. And I want us to address the bone pit situation with each other, with the roles reversed this time. And let's see if we can identify something that maybe we're not communicating, but maybe something that we can feel. Okay, so the scene is set. We are reversing roles and begin.
I am Baqualith, and I am eating my adventurer corpse for dinner over the sink that's only big enough for one. It's so tasty.
This is difficult.
Can you tell me why? What is difficult about it? Do you think? Tell me more about that.
I do not often occupy my brain stems with the perspective of others, which I tend to consume quickly before I have digested them.
Maybe you should.
You have to put yourselves in my floating feet.
How about this? And this may be a dangerous proposal, but I think we really need this to have the breakthrough. What if, instead of controlling and entering the mind of helpless adventurers that wander into your cave, why don't you turn those powers on each other's minds and look inside each other's minds at the same time?
This is not how Illithid communicates. What if we control your minds and the other doctor's mind, and then we will fight through you as our spokesperson? I will control your mind, Dr. Rick.
Clearly, Dr. Rick has the more delicious mind. Why must you always choose the more delicious mind before I
Okay, fine.
choose?
You have him. I will take the other one.
It seems as though you are afraid to try something outside the box.
That might be true, but the last time I tried something outside the box, it was at your mother's house, and I felt like we just got off on a bad foot with your dad, and I'm working to
You're
reclaim that
always
position.
bringing up my mother when the biggest problem is that when we're together, you're not present.
Your
You're
mother
not really
doesn't mind
there.
flare. You mind flare your mother. That's what I did, and I don't know why you don't do it too.
Oh,
This was quite a breakthrough.
I didn't know you felt that way.
I feel I have discovered truth on a level I had not anticipated.
I disrespect your parents because I'm jealous of them.
Your parents were not as nurturing in the ways of teaching you to suckle young minds as mine were, and this is a deficit which you sought out in my family.
Yes, even though they said I had 5 tentacles, they called me. They said I was stubby, and they were not very long.
Let us make up by winding our mouth tentacles together in embrace.
Yes, we are done with the.
All right, we're going to cut the call right there. Thank you. Oh, no. Okay, very good. Let's end the call right there. And, wow, we've made some wonderful progress.
What an adventure
tonight.
that was.
Wow, I know I am forever changed by that experience.
It's been a long time since I've been mind flayed.
Same with me, and I look forward to it again on our next episode. Antonious Flamestrider, I want to thank you one more time for coming on the show and helping the listeners.
It's been a pleasure. I would, anytime, any place, I would be here.
Thank you for that. And remember, you can pick up the book Unleashing the Inner Beast, Walking the Path of Power, available at small bookstores, people with a cart coming through town, and wanderers with a coat that's a little too big near you. And of course, we want to thank Heaven Sent, our advertising partner. Heaven Sent, fine distributor of goods and services throughout the realms. Don't think too much about it. Well, on behalf of all of us here at the Dr. Rick's Arcane Advice Show, this is Dr. Ricandus Sturgeon saying good night and take care of yourselves and take care of each other.